Paying full price for souvenirs, believing Disney's marketing schemes, and wasting precious park time. It is so easy to waste money in Disney World. Way easier than you might realize. But now you're here today. Your vacation funds will breathe a sigh of relief because they are going to be saved. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. Spending money in Disney World is way too easy, and before you realize it, you'll find yourself spending more on this vacation than you were wanting to pay. Luckily, we've already been there, bought that, and regretted it for you, RIP our wallets, and we're here to help you stop falling into the same money pitfalls that we've been in before. So let's start with Disney Genie Plus. It's not the warning that you think I'm going to give you. It's a different warning. I'm super happy if you buy Genie Plus. That's fine. It's just when you buy it. So ever since we first met Disney Genie Plus back in 2021, we've had kind of a fickle relationship with it. And I mean that collectively, like you, me, all of us. We've all had a love-hate with this one. Now, on the one hand, you got to pay for it, and that's blah. On the other hand, it's still a good tool to use when you're not wanting to wait in all those massive ride lines. But there is a wrong time to purchase Genie Plus on the day of your visit, and that's midday or later. Lightning lanes do book up, especially during busy park days. So if you plan on arriving at the parks later, or you're already at the parks and you're thinking about purchasing Genie Plus when it's already getting into the afternoon, you're going to start off at a major disadvantage. There's a good chance that many of the rides you're wanting lightning lanes for might have already been taken up or are sold out. Or if they're not, they'll have a next available return time way later on in the evening. Buying Genie Plus later also means you're not going to be able to use that 120-minute rule to your advantage. So normally you're only able to book your next lightning lane after you use the last one, but you can also book your next lightning lane after a 2-hour cooldown period. So if you book a lightning lane for, say, Slinky Dog Dash in Hollywood Studios, and the return time is, say, 4 hours from now, you'll still be able to stack up on lightning lane reservations and make a second selection after 2 hours have passed. And that's why it's better to purchase and start using your Genie Plus as early as you can on the day of your visit to get the most bang for your buck. You can start making reservations as early as 7 a.m., though the 120-minute rule won't kick in until after the parks officially open for the day. I say all of this from a place of experience because I have bought Genie Plus way too late multiple times. Like, I don't ever learn my lesson, I guess. I always think, oh no, this time it'll be different. It's not ever different. Just buy Genie Plus at the beginning of the day, stack up those lightning lanes, and get the most out of it. Now, the next way a lot of people waste money is by paying full price for a shorter day in the parks. So you purchase the park tickets, you arrive for a more than magical day, you fill your day with rides and snacks and shows, and then all of a sudden the brakes slam. It smarts when you got to cut your park day short, but on occasion, you might have to. During seasonal after-hours parties, like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party at Magic Kingdom, the park will have to close super early for regular day guests, and that means non-party guests will have to get out by 6 p.m. No park dinner, no park fireworks, no nighttime park rides, just a whole lot of see you real soons and cast members waving at you with Mickey gloves. Of course, you can always buy a party ticket and join in on the late night fun yourself, but if you've already paid for a whole day ticket, a party ticket on top of that will double the cost you'd normally pay for a one-day ticket. So that's a whole lot of money to spend on what would be a single park day any other day. So I'd suggest choosing one park ticket or the other, but maybe not both on the same day if you can avoid it. After all, even with just a party ticket, you can still enter the park a few hours before the event kicks off, giving you some daylight hours to enjoy the park too. But it's not just holiday parties you need to be on the lookout for. Sometimes the parks have to close earlier for cast member training or other special events as well. For some guests, days when the parks have to close early are great because those daytime crowds won't be quite as intense as they usually are, so that might still be worth the price of your ticket in the end, especially if you were planning on leaving before the fireworks anyways. But for other guests who don't know that the park is closing early, paying full price for a ticket and still having to leave 3 to 4 hours earlier than normal can feel like you've been swindled out of a good chunk of your Disney day. Just make sure you're keeping a close eye on the Disney World hours and events calendar on their website so you're not caught off guard by these early closing times. Again, they happen seemingly randomly, so there's no way to know that, someone rented out the park for an evening event on the day of your Magic Kingdom day, unless you're actually looking at those park hours. Worst comes to worst, if you've got a park hopper add-on, you can always jump over to a different park that'll stay open later so you can eat dinner, watch the nighttime shows, and grab some late night rides over there instead. Now, I get it. You're caught in the heat of the moment. You're in Disney World, about to have the time of your life, and the first gift shop you wander into is a treasure trove of must-have items. I, too, have been personally victimized by this YOLO mindset. I don't think people say YOLO anymore. I probably need to stop adding that into scripts before people think we're not cool. But don't put your vacation blinders on yet, because sometimes you can also look to see if the same items you're trying to buy in the parks are available online for a discounted price. Now, at the beginning of this year, the Shop Disney website rebranded back to DisneyStore.com. I know, whiplash, but be sure to scope out which DisneyStore.com sales can lead to the biggest savings before you head into the parks. That way you'll know whether or not that lounge fly bag you're currently eyeballing in the store shelf is going to be cheaper if you just get it through the Disney Store website instead. Sometimes ears are cheaper. Sometimes Spirit jerseys are cheaper. Sometimes Disney Store's running a big old sale and you can get everything cheaper. Just remember that you have to pay shipping unless you hit a certain spending amount or a free shipping offer is available. You may also find fun Disney toy and accessory options for way cheaper at places like Target or Walmart or Amazon. So if you're looking to buy items for the little ones in your group that aren't going to know any different, and you want to steer them away from the overpriced balloons and bubble wands and mini ears in the parks, consider buying them some souvenirs from cheaper spots online or locally ahead of your trip. Then you can pack those items with you, and during the trip you can take them out and surprise, a much more affordable souvenir. Now, since we are on the subject of saving money, how's about I drop y'all a free digital guide download? This is compliments of us. Scan the QR code you see on the screen or head to disneyfoodblog.com/Disney plans, and we can send you your very own Disney World planning worksheets. In these worksheets, you're going to find planning timelines, budgeting tips, trip planner pages, packing lists, and more helpful hints to make sure you can chisel out the details of your upcoming Disney World trip easily and efficiently. And I promise, there's no quizzes. These aren't those kinds of worksheets. These are genuinely to help you out. You don't have to use them if you don't want to, because they're free. Now, this is an interesting way that people waste money. Let's call it the eyes are too big for our stomachs rule, because I kind of do this with food. I get stuff I really want to eat, and then I don't have the stomach space to do it. This is when people buy things at Disney before they actually need to use them, and then realize that they don't actually need to use them. Anyway, are you confused? I kind of am. I'm confusing myself. Let's get some examples. Purchasing Memory Maker for $185 before your vacation may seem like a good idea, since it'll give you unlimited downloads of all your PhotoPass pictures that you take around the parks. But if you only wind up taking 1 or 2 photos that you actually want to keep, it's a much better deal to just pay for those downloads individually, which typically cost about $20 per picture. Also, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique in Magic Kingdom, it's $100 plus. Might seem like a good idea, since your little prince or princess will get a magical Disney makeover from their very own fairy godmother. But if your kiddo ends up hating the fact that someone else is messing with their hair, they don't want to wear their costume around the park because it's too hot, or they're just simply tired and overstimulated and not enjoying this experience, then there goes hundreds of dollars down the drain when you could have just stopped at one of the face paint booths for $15 or gotten a little sprinkling of pixie dust in your hair for free from one of the Fantasyland gift shops. Sir Mickey's and Bonjour Village Gifts both do it. By the way, did you know there's a new Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique signature package now that's like $450? That's a lot for a temporary makeover. Like, someone could eat a Victoria and Albert's for that price. That being said, the experience does come with a lot of extras that you do get to take home with you, like a higher quality princess dress, a crystal tiara, an organza garment bag, and a lot of other royal perks. So I don't know, maybe this is how you want to spend $450, but maybe it's not. So we're here to warn you just in case. Now, character dining experiences are around $60 plus per adult. This may seem like a good idea if you're wanting to eat a big meal and meet a lot of characters without waiting in line. But if your kids end up being terrified of the characters coming up to say hello, then you probably would have been better off just seeing the characters from a distance for free, like during one of the parades or cavalcades, and eating somewhere cheaper instead. We always recommend you kind of try your kid out with the Easter Bunny, locally or some other, character locally, maybe at the ball game or something, and see how they do with a character before you book those really expensive character meals. Now, there are character meals with just face characters, like Cinderella's Royal Table has just the princesses. So that might be something you're interested in. Also over at 1900 Park Fair, just opening up, they only have face characters too. So those might not be as scary for little kids, but you never know. Like I said, try them out somewhere free first and then see if it's worth it. Anyway, it can be tricky to figure out which add-ons are actually going to be worth those steep price points or not. And I really wish I could give you a solid, this is worth it, this isn't, neon sign for you to refer back to. But the truth is, each family is different. So you're going to have to talk about these add-ons with your group beforehand and decide which offerings are actually going to be worth setting aside the extra money. Also, take stock of when you actually have to buy this stuff. Now, you can buy Memory Maker after you are done with your Disney World trip. If it so happens that there were a bajillion pictures that you wanted to buy, you can buy that. It's just a little bit higher priced. So there are different time frames as to when you can buy this stuff. Some of it is only before your trip. Some of it is during the trip. So definitely keep an eye on those timelines if you want to try some of these. Now, if our relationship with Genie Plus has been fickle, then our relationship with the Disney dining plan has definitely been a puzzle. The DDP returned to the Disney World scene this past January, and it can be a great investment, but only if you know how to use it correctly and always kind of stick to those rules. If you're not careful, this Disney Vacation Package add-on that allows you to prepay for meals and snacks before your visit could become a major waste of money when all is said and done. You might end up wasting your snack or dining credits by not using them all. You might choose the wrong dining plan for your family, or you might use dining credits to purchase inexpensive meals and menu items that you could have purchased for much cheaper if you'd paid for them out of pocket. The Disney dining plan might be a service originally created to make your vacation life more convenient, but without the proper research to back up your purchase and maximize the DDP to the best of your ability, it might just wind up being more of a headache. Because what I always tell people is, Disney's not going to offer this service if they haven't done their homework. They know that the Disney dining plan is priced for an amount of food that most people don't actually eat on their vacation. And so they're probably going to make money on the majority of the Disney dining plans that are sold. Because it is genuinely a lot of food. Very few people can eat that much food, and certainly don't want to eat that much food when it's the highest price items on the menu, which are usually the richest and kind of the most destructive to your stomach, like those really marbled steaks and that lobster and stuff like that. So it's going to be rich food. It's going to be a lot of food. And if you want to get your money's worth, you have to buy the most expensive food at every restaurant. So it is possible to get a good deal with the dining plan, but you do have to plan ahead. So what you need to do is take time to break down the DDP and see which option, if any, is going to be a good fit for your family. We've even got a whole DFB guide to maximizing the Disney dining plan. It's out now over at dfbstore.com. That's already done all that heavy research for you. So if you're trying to weigh the pros and cons, we list them all out in plain speak, as well as tell you how exactly you can get the most bang for your buck if you do decide to purchase one of these plans. Be sure to use code YouTube before you check out for an extra discount on your guidebook purchase. And remember, it's 100% money back guaranteed. If you're not into the book you buy, just let us know. We'll give you your money back and you get to keep the book. Now, remember how we talked about adding Genie Plus too late is going to end up being a money waster? Same situation for park hoppers. You can purchase park hopper add-ons that lets you hop from park to park instead of having to go to just one park a day when you're buying your theme park tickets online. It's really easy too. You just choose the park hopper option instead of the one park per day option before you check out. But here's the thing. When it comes to park hoppers, it's all or nothing. You can't pick and choose which days you want to use park hoppers for. So even if you wanted to just use it on one day of your 5-day park ticket, for example, you're still going to have to pay the extra $65 plus for all 5 days. If you're iffy about adding a park hopper to your trip, you can always purchase the 1-day tickets for now and wait to add the park hoppers when you get to Disney World if you change your mind while you're there. Any of Disney's guest relations locations will be more than happy to help you out. But if you do decide to add park hoppers to your tickets at the last minute, make sure you do so at the beginning of your trip before your first park day, because the price you pay for park hoppers will still be based on your original number of ticket days, not how many days you have left. So if you're on day 3 of your 5-day park tickets and you suddenly decide you want to hop between parks, you're still going to have to pay the price difference for all 5 park days, including the first 2 days you didn't use the park hopper for. Talk about a major money waster. Okay, we're going to put this on a t-shirt. Are you ready? Hydrate, don't dihydrate. I know it's not very good. Let's blame Bria for that one. Okay. Anyway, all you longtime DFB fans know that I'm going to bully you into drinking water because I care. Have a headache? Drink water. Feeling overheated? Drink water. Get lightheaded? Drink water. Boyfriend broke up with you while you were in line for Spaceship Earth? Drink a margarita and then have some water. Now, if you buy a bottle of water at one of the park kiosks or quick services, I'm not going to slap your hand or anything because I want you to stay hydrated. However, you really, really don't need to be spending $5 plus on water each time you're in need of an H2O replenishment. Instead of trashing your hydration goals during your visit because a water bottle costs an arm and a leg, you can grab free cups of ice water from most any quick service restaurant around Disney World, as well as from the snack stands that have drink machines too. But for those of you who choose to bring a refillable water bottle, I've got super good news for you. You know those refillable water bottle stations I'm always going on about? The ones that we literally had our reporters go out and mark down so that we could create a map for you? Yeah. Well, now they've added that to the My Disney Experience app. So the Disney World app can find those water bottle refill stations for you. In the app's search bar, type water bottle refill. The first option that pops up should be the water bottle refill stations. So go ahead and tap on it. This will lead you to the app's specific water bottle refill station page. You can tap on the map option and it's going to show you all the refill stations around Disney property. Super, super useful. Now, sometimes people waste money in Disney World by buying Disney food. Okay, this subject is always a weird one for me, not because I don't want it to be 100% true, but because we're Disney food blog, so Disney food is a big part of who we are. Who I am. But even more important than being Disney food blog, I want you to have an awesome Disney World trip that you feel is worth the money you spend. Which is why I must again remind you, you don't have to pay for Disney food for each of your meals. You are totally, completely, and thoroughly allowed to order food from outside places and have them delivered to your Disney World hotel to help you save money. You can always take a quick trip over to one of the big box stores outside the Disney bubble to pick up groceries and cheaper snacky items, or you can order groceries from online services like Amazon Fresh or Instacart or Kroger Delivery. Whatever option you choose, having your own groceries back in your room means you can prep your own food to take into the parks with you and avoid having to spend $15 to $20 per quick service entree or $20 to $40 per person on table service meals, and probably more. So maybe pick a couple of Disney restaurants you for sure want to prioritize and then stock up on sandwich ingredients or protein bars or trail mixes or beef jerky or whatever other sustainable snack and food options you want to bring with you into the parks for a nice little picnic. Now, sometimes you don't have a choice. When you are in desperate need of over-the-counter meds or more diapers or stronger sunscreen, and your Disney Resort gift shop is literally right there, then it's understandable that you're going to pay for the necessities you can get in an instant. But if you can avoid doing that, you should, because those hotel gift shop necessities are going to be more expensive than paying for them at pretty much any other store. This goes along the same lines as what we were just talking about before during your Disney vacation. You are not stuck in the Disney bubble and forced to pay for their food or merchandise or other necessities. Much like you can grab groceries at big box stores or order them through delivery apps, you can do the same for non-food essentials too. Just keep in mind that there are occasions when simply buying a necessity or two at your hotel gift shop may still be the smarter option for you. Time is money, my friends. So depending on your circumstances, that's occasionally going to be the way you gotta go. For example, let's say you're getting ready to get in line for your hotel bus stop for, say, Magic Kingdom, but you suddenly got something in your eye and it's really, really irritating you right now. You're not going to want to put your whole day on pause just to drive over to a pharmacy, and you're certainly not going to want to wait an hour or so for a delivery service to drop off eye drops. You got places to be. So in these situations, it's easier to just bite the bullet, pay an extra couple of dollars for an overpriced bottle of eye drops at your hotel gift shop than making it a whole extra ordeal that sucks precious time out of your Disney day. This also goes for allergy meds during the Flower and Garden Festival. Pack them, people. You'll need them. All right, drivers, listen up, because I'm about to become your cautionary tale. I know that Disney has all those directions listed on their overhead signs above the roads. I know my GPS is telling me which exits I need to take. I know all of this, but when you're feeling the pressure of the moment, trying to get to the parks before you miss your early theme park entry or advanced dining reservation or whatever other reason you might be pressured for time, the nerves get to you, especially when you throw in some of that lovely Disney traffic too. Suddenly you find yourself missing an important turn and getting yelled at by everyone in your car while your GPS desperately tries to recalculate. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Time is money in Disney World. So when traffic and directions aren't on your side that day, money might be wasted just because you didn't get to use your early theme park entry that comes with your Disney World hotel stay, or you missed your advanced dining reservation, which typically charges $10 per person as a no-show fee. So yeah, you have to pay a fee to the restaurant just for not showing up. Not to mention a late arrival because of an easy mistake adds a sour note to the beginning of your vacation. Everyone's kind of frustrated with each other at that point, and the driver's feeling all guilty but defensive too. It's just not a great way to start a theme park day that you've already spent a lot of money on. So factor in that extra time when creating your park schedule to allow yourself a wrong turn or two. I can't tell you how many times I've driven off of Disney World property unintentionally and had to figure out how to U-turn and come back. And everybody here has accidentally driven all the way over to Animal Kingdom Lodge when they meant to go to Magic Kingdom, right? Not just me. Right. And if you're able, have a co-pilot in the passenger seat that can help to be an extra brain and pair of eyes, preferably a level-headed one that'll balance out your stress with their calm and not make fun of you if you still get behind a bajillion cars and take a wrong turn. And don't forget, if you're staying on Disney property, you got access to free park transportation. So if the thought of driving in Disney has already given you pit stains, see what free transportation options are going to be available for you at your hotel. Even a solid number of complimentary transportation options are available at many of Disney's Good Neighbor hotels. Those are the hotels that aren't owned by Disney but partner with Disney to give you a potentially cheaper place to stay that's close to the parks. Just be aware that the Good Neighbor hotel transportation options might be on a rather tight schedule that doesn't quite mesh with your theme park itinerary, so you'll want to research those different options before you completely rely on them, one way or another. Next on our list, booking more park days than you need to. Now, I know you think that that's not a thing, right? That why wouldn't you want to go into Disney World every single day? But hear me out. So Disney has incentivized going to the parks for more days by decreasing the price of a park ticket per day. The longer you stay, the less you pay per day. That's the mantra. Well, it sounds nice, but just wait until we break things down. A Disney World park ticket for one park per day starts at $109 this year. That price can vary based on the day you choose to go, but we're going to work with $109 for now. If you decide to go to the parks for 10 days, which is a lot of days, that price drops down and can get as low as $65 per day, not including park hoppers or any other ticket add-ons, of course. But keep in mind that you're not just paying $65 for a ticket, you're paying $65 per day across 10 days. So really, instead of $109 for your trip ticket, you're going to be spending $650 per person instead. Technically, that per day ticket price is cheaper, but overall, you're still going to be paying more for your tickets as a whole, and that's how they get you. Now, let's consider all the other expenses you would have to factor in for those 10 days. You would need a hotel, you'd need food for each additional day, you may even need Genie Plus or some other added cost on those additional days as well. Park hoppers, even more expensive. So even though the ticket price does drop the more days you spend in the parks, don't fall for the easy trap and automatically extend your trip just because you think you're getting a good deal. Only book the amount of days that'll work for your group's specific timeline. Give yourself some rest days. And remember, while 10 days in the parks sounds wonderful, it's also exhausting. So put on your rational thinking cap and determine if you really need to be in the parks for 10 days or if 6 days or 4 days is going to be enough. And then you can build in break days in between. Also, do not forget to check out Disney's special offers, deals, and discounts page for extra ticket and hotel and vacation package savings opportunities. They always have discounts available for one of those, if not more of those things, but they're not going to tell you about them when you go ahead and book your ticket. Like, you're not going to get a little pop-up that says, hey, you can actually save money on this ticket if you use this promo code. They're not going to do that, so you have to find those yourself and then apply them. So drinking around the world in Epcot might sound like a super fun time with friends, and it is until you're 4 countries in and you realize, man, these drinks are starting to give me a tummy ache or worse. Some of the drinks you're going to find around the World Showcase pavilions are pretty big. They're shareable even. So if you keep buying giant drinks across each of the 11 pavilions only for them to keep making you kind of queasy or force you to throw them away after just a few sips, you're definitely not going to be getting your money's worth out of this drinking around the world venture. So here are some ways to make your Spirited Epcot challenge a lot more efficient and affordable. First, you can find smaller options. plain and simple, right? But not all of Epcot's drinks are these super tall, super sweet concoctions that you're not going to be able to finish before it's time for your next beverage. Lots of the limited time spirited drinks offered at the festival food booths around the World Showcase are going to be more of a sipping size rather than a full cup commitment. So make sure to study up on the festival menus if you're planning on going to Epcot during one of its festival seasons. We have, of course, got them all. If you want to see menus and if you want to see pictures of everything and reviews of everything, we got all that stuff for you on our festival pages and of course in our festival videos. Now, second option, order flights. Not only are drink flights going to give you sample-sized portions of typically full-sized drinks, but they're also easier to share among the people in your group who are 21 and over. Flights can be found at many of the festival booths too, as well as inside the permanent pavilion locations like La Cava del Tequila in Mexico, Wine Keller in Germany, Tutto Gusto Wine Cellar in Italy, Rose and Crown Pub in the UK, and of course that Champagne Bar in France. Now you can also alternate between cocktails and mocktails. If you do want those full-sized drinks and you want them in every single country, then this is a good way to save a little bit of dosh. So nobody said that drinking around the world had to be strictly a spirited pursuit. Not only are Disney's mocktails half the price of a regular cocktail, but they also allow everyone to join in on the fun. Now, I know some of y'all in the comments have been asking about fun mocktails to try, so here's just a few of our team's favorites around the World Showcase. There's the American Dream Slushie, which is a mixture of frozen Fanta Wild Cherry, vanilla ice cream, and frozen Fanta Blue Raspberry Slushie. That's at the Fife and Drum in the America Pavilion. You can grab a frozen mint tea, Oasis Sips and Sweets in the Morocco Pavilion. At La Cava del Tequila in Mexico, you can order a virgin pina colada. And once again, lots of festival booths have exclusive zero-proof options too. And you can often order regular cocktails as zero-proof cocktails, which is going to cost you less. Also, don't be afraid to ask if a certain cocktail can be made without the alcohol. While some cocktails are pre-mixed so that the booze can't be taken out of it, many others are made fresh at the bars, meaning you could order a cocktail with everything else in it except for the liquor and get it for half the price. And remember, no matter how you decide to take on the Drinking Around the World challenge, just remember to pace yourself, hydrate, eat food, and drink responsibly. Next way people waste money in Disney World is staying at a deluxe resort for no real reason. There are some folks out there who absolutely must book a Disney deluxe resort for their vacation because of their top tier amenities, club level accommodations, high-end dining, multiple transportation perks. For some, and larger guest rooms and extended evening hours benefit. But before you up and say, wow, I want to be bougie and get the VIP treatment too, keep in mind that these resorts are called deluxe for a reason. They are very expensive. Typically, the lowest priced deluxe hotel rooms without any discounts applied are going to be standard rooms at $500 plus per night. This is important to keep in mind not only from a purely financial perspective, but also from a value perspective in actually getting your money's worth. If you are not planning on spending much time at your hotel and you're likely going to be in the parks from rope drop till close, then a Disney deluxe hotel stay is probably not going to be worth the $500 plus per night. Because remember, $500, that's the lowest level you're going to pay. You can easily stay at a value or moderate resort for a lot less money or even a much cheaper Good Neighbor hotel and get more nights out of the price you pay. So you folks who want to stay 10 days, this is great. Stay at the less expensive hotels, spend all your time in the parks. Maybe that budgeting will even out a little bit. Now, if you want to have your cake and eat it too, you want to pay less but still get a deluxe hotel experience, the Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin hotels can hook you up with that. Swan and Dolphin are two separate hotels owned by Marriott. They're placed right next to each other, smack dab in the middle of Disney World property. You can walk to Epcot and Hollywood Studios from these hotels, and they're right next to the boardwalk and the Yacht and Beach Club. So these have solid restaurants, classy vibes, and the convenience of the Skyliner system, which is again only steps away from the hotels. One of the best parts about staying at either location is the fact that they're treated like a deluxe Disney World resort, despite only having moderate price points, or even less than that, depending on what time of year you visit. Rooms at the Swan tend to start at around $206 per night, and rooms at the Dolphin start around $273, but they get all the perks that Disney deluxe hotels get, including extended evening hours. So the Swan and Dolphin can literally be hundreds of dollars less than a regular deluxe Disney resort, and will still give you those perks, including extended evening hours, which allows you to 2 hours of extra time inside select parks on select nights after they close for everyone else, in addition to all of the other Disney hotel perks. So no matter where you're planning on staying though, it's important to do your research ahead of booking a Disney World Deluxe Resort. These hotels are going to cost several pretty pennies and they aren't all created equal. But if you want me to dive into the specifics for you, make sure to check out our Ranking Every Disney Hotel video when you get the chance. That one's super helpful. We do an updated one every year so that we can incorporate any of the changes that are happening in those specific hotels, because it does affect, the final ranking if some place is under heavy construction this year, or if they changed all the rooms and they're totally different. Sometimes that ups a hotel's game, sometimes it is a negative. So definitely check that one out. Now, hopefully we've relieved the pressure of overspending during your Disney World day with some of these tips. But if you want to start on your vacation savings now, don't forget to pick up our free Disney World planning worksheets. They're over at disneyfoodblog.com/DisneyPlans. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. If you have any great tips about how to save money in Disney World, please drop them in the comments. They're super, super helpful for everybody else who's coming by to watch the video and for us to see too. We always love to learn from you. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.